1. So like we said, today we are digging into the endangered species. An endangered species is a species that is at risk of dying off in the near future, either worldwide or in a particular political environment. And the reason why these animals are endangered, again, is because they are at risk to being eliminated or hunted for like their fur or their skin or anything like that, or just because people like to do that for some strange reason, and because their habitat or their home is being like either demolished, tore down, or oftentimes it dries up, the water dries up so that the plants aren't able to survive. If anybody has seen Crudes 2, there was like this like group of monkeys, and they weren't.
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah, they weren't able to. They weren't able to get any more bananas because of the fact that their water supply was cut off, and so a man did that. A man messed up their water supply. So a lot of the times, plants and animals are endangered because of people. And so, long story short, those monkeys were almost endangered because they weren't able to truly thrive in their home anymore because they didn't have any more bananas, or they didn't have any more water or trees or anything. So we talked about the orangutan, Bomian orangutan, and then we talked about the black rhino, which is really brown. Now we're digging back into the plant aspects of it, and we're going to watch this video that has to do with these botanists who explore, and they're going to be able to show us the different types of endangered species. Well, this video, they're not going to break down the endangered species. However, in our last one, we'll see the list of endangered species, but this one we'll talk about and show how far and how much these botanists are risking their lives just to track down these plants and be able to document them. Because a lot of people think that a lot of plants are dead, but they're just like not visible. So we're gonna check them out right here.
Welcome to the land of rare plants. Nearly 90% of Hawaiian plants don't grow anywhere else.
Most of the plants are only found in these islands and oftentimes only on a ridgetop or in a particular valley. They evolved in extreme isolation.
This isolation has made Hawaii's plants uniquely diverse, but it also means they're really vulnerable to threats like invasive species. Hawaii is home to about 45% of all endangered and threatened plants in the US. And in the past 2 decades, 27 species are thought to have gone extinct.
Every plant and every bird and nearly every insect is identified and has a name in Hawaiian. If we lose that, then we will lose a connection to our Hawaiian culture and history.
We do have an extinction crisis, and I feel compelled to help in any way that I can.
So let's just take a peek right up here at this little ledge.
Adam Williams and Ben Nyberg are the Indiana Joneses of rare plants, racing to save species from extinction. Drones have made it possible to search for plants on even the steepest cliffs.
I was kind of thinking that whole face that's kind of facing us, you could pick out a spot that looks especially good to you. Okay, here I go.
Okay, I got you. You want to start there and work your way down, Ben?
Yeah, that's probably what I'll do. We chose the cliff for survey because that valley is one of the most biodiverse in the whole state. That's a Wilksia.
Gymnosiphium though, right?
Yeah, no, MDI. With that amount of cliff, there's just a lot of areas that haven't been explored yet.
You see Lipokita.
Sonata, yeah. Bidens, seems like kind of homogeneous grasses, so I might kind of come back around. As the climate is changing, we don't know how that's going to affect all these microclimate niches, so we're making a push to just continue our work at a quicker rate.
Ben sees exactly what the drone captured when he's back in his office.
This little plant with the white flowers was a plant that we were able to locate. They're thought to be gone from around here. We have at least 10 of them in the area, which is a significant find.
Now, Ben and Adam are facing a grave new threat to Hawaii's ecosystem, an invader called rapid ohia death. Ohia trees are the lifeblood of Hawaii's biodiversity and central to its native culture. 50% of all trees in Hawaii are ohia.
Almost all of our native forest ecosystems are dominated by ohia.
The volcano goddess Pele, in her eruptions, will destroy huge groves of ohia, and her favorite younger sister Hi'iaka is the guardian of the ohia forest. In hula, the new shoots and the flowers are used in lei making, and they are a manifestation of those gods.
In 2014, scientists noticed that ohia trees were mysteriously dying. They now know that fungi are killing the ohia, but they don't know how to stop the carnage.
If rapid ohia death went unchecked, it would be cataclysmic. It kills trees so fast that our hillsides would become all brown and dead. Erosion would become a big issue.
So Ben and Adam need to collect rare plants before the forests that support them disappear.
We've been making an extra push to find rare plant populations in case that habitat is severely altered with rapid ohia death.
Okay, so we're descending now. Just about to go over the edge.
What we wanted to do was select some Wilkesii habdii plants that had seeds on them, collect the seeds, and then we could bring them into our nursery and help keep the species going if it were to go extinct in the wild. Wilkesii habdii is a federally listed endangered species. We think there's about 6,000 individuals left, so pretty rare, and the dry cliff habitat that they're known from is in threats from goats, so we want to make sure that we get to all the plants.
It wasn't very nice getting caught in the rain, but at least I had already made 3 successful seed collections from 3 different plants and tagged them. These are the seeds I got today. Each of these is from a different plant, so it was a good haul.
I get this question a lot. Is there a use for humans for these plants? Some of them do have uses, but I don't think that that makes them necessarily more important for conservation.
Hopefully, by conserving the plant and preventing its extinction, we'll be able to one day restore part of that ecosystem.
They're spectacular and they should be preserved for that reason alone.
All right. So let's dive in. So not only are there people out there doing these things, but there are some plants that people have no idea are even like endangered or about to go extinct. So there's one that grows underground, and it's called the Western Underground Orchid. And this orchid is often found in Australia, That's where it comes from. And it lives and blooms underneath the ground. You remember we all talked about germination, right? And how germination is like when a plant goes from being underground to being rooted in the dirt, and then it blooms, the stems pop out of the soil, and then the sun and photosynthesis allow for that plant to be able to grow, right? However, when it comes to the Western orchid, all these
cutting.
Oh snap! Probably the Wi-Fi. How am I now? Is it still choppy, or are you able to hear me? Let me do I don't know why doing this helps.
It's still choppy.
Or what about now?
I can still hear perfectly fine.
Okay. Okay, good. All right, so the Western orchid, right? This flower grows underneath the ground, and it's only known in 6 different places, right? Only 6 different places. You know, sunflowers are everywhere for the most part, and daisies are everywhere for the most part. But this underground flower, this orchid, is only 6 places in the entire world. Not only that, fewer than 50 of these plants exist in the whole entire world. Fewer than 50 in the whole entire world exist. All right? Fewer than 50. Oh, snap. I don't know how to control myself from cutting out. It would have to be a Wi-Fi issue, but as you can see, my Wi-Fi says that it's doing really good. I don't know. This is strange fruit. Okay, let's keep enduring. So how this plant thrives and survives is it does this off of the fungus that grows underneath the ground. And this is what this flower looks like. The reason it's endangered is because its climate in that area and period is changing. And also there's been a lot of like flooding in that area. So it's been hard for those flowers to take root in the ground when there's flooding. That is the underground orchid. Then
that flower is so beautiful.
Yes, it is, Sophie. Then we have the jellyfish tree.
Jellyfish tree?
I know. That's what I'm saying. These trees and these plants are super rare, and their names are super cool. This jellyfish tree is one of the rarest plants in the entire world. And the population of them is under 30. Under 30 of these plants exist, and they're scattered on the Mahi Island and the Seychelles. All right? Only 30 of these plants are like discovered, let's say that, because I believe that there's some more plants out there that we just haven't seen them yet, but they only know about 30 of them right now. Now this plant is kind of cool because the female part of the flower looks like the tentacles of a jellyfish, and it says the snakes that form the hair of this plant resemble Medusa. So this plant, no, it only.
I know Medusa.
Yeah, she's super cool.
She's one of the Greek myths.
Yeah, she's super cool. I think she even came before Greece too. I don't even know, but I think she might have come before that. All right, so we got the reasoning behind the jellyfish trees going extinct. So the reasoning why the jellyfish tree may be going extinct is because not only is the population very small, but the area, it's always most likely it comes down to the environment that this flower or plant is growing in. The environment that it's growing in, which provides a threat to it being able to sustain itself. And this is what it looks like. This is the jellyfish tree. So the environment causes it to not be able to sustain itself. It's changing, and the environment is not conducive to the plant's life. All right. What? All right. Then we have, drum roll, we have the Baobab tree. The Baobab tree is legitimately one of the coolest trees that I know about in the endangered species arena. The Baobab tree is known as the tree of life. It has the ability to provide shelter, clothing, food, and water for people and animals in the savanna of Africa. All right. And the coolest part about it is that, well, honestly, it's all cool because for a tree to be able to give shelter, clothing, food, and water for animals and people, that's just blowing my mind. These trees are dying very fast because either like, and remember I said it's always, for the most part, the environment that's changing that does not allow for these animals to thrive in, right? So it's like what happens with the Baobab tree is that either fire, extreme wind, not enough water, or diseases in the plant create an environment that does not allow for this tree to grow at its best. Now, this tree can be used to make not only shelter, clothing, not only food and water, but also cloth and rope. This is the Baobab tree, aka the tree of life. The tree of life. All right. Ms. Breeze, what's the Baobab tree? It's the tree of life. Why do you say that? Well, you can get water, food, shelter. What? All these cool things from one tree for humans and animals? The next The next one we have is the monkey puzzle tree. The monkey puzzle tree. All right. Now this monkey puzzle tree is pretty interesting only because it can live for over 1,000 years. I repeat, this tree can live for over 1,000 years. 1,000 years. This tree can live up, yes, Sophie, I know, up to 1,000 years. This tree is known to have been around when dinosaurs were roaming the earth. This tree, not only does it doesn't have the lifespan of 1,000 years. Hold on one second. My Wi-Fi told me it's unstable. Well, how are you unstable but you're stable? All right, I should be back. So, not only is this tree living a long time, it's also able to be, no, I'm sorry, I was being dramatic. It's also able to be pollinated by the wind. So remember we talked about pollination, how we have like butterflies and bees that are able to help pollinate? Well, in this case, This tree is pollinated by the wind because it has two separate parts of it. So the male part creates life, and then the wind goes and blows the seed on, and then there's a female part of it. But they're different plants. It's like each monkey puzzle tree only has one part of it. Very strange. Now, the reason why the monkey tree is able to be extinct soon or endangered is because people are still cutting it down and using it for wood. And even though it's a national monument in Chile, people are still just breaking the law. This is what it looks like. All right. All right. All right. That's the monkey tree. The chat book. All right, we're still here. That was very strange. That was very strange. All right, let's get back into it. Let's get back into it. Boom. Monkey puzzle tree. All right. Come on, Wi-Fi. I need you to hold it together. Hold it together, Wi-Fi. The last plant flower that we're going to talk about is called the Ghost. Woo! The Ghost Orchid. The Ghost Orchid. And the Ghost Orchid is a flower that is known and native to the Bahamas and Florida. All right. And it looks like a frog. All right. Looks like a frog. This flower is called the Ghost Orchid, and it looks like a frog. I'm so sorry, you guys. This is causing so much. No, you don't. You do not leave. The class is not over. What happened is my Wi-Fi keeps kicking me out. So I am back and we are here. Let's dive right back into our lesson where we left off at. That is so frustrating. All right. So this is the Ghost Orchid right here. And it's very rare because
I want to hear your screaming, Smith.
Oh, it's not shared?
What?
Do you see the presentation? So I can stop sharing it and then reshare it again. Hold on. All right. Boom. All right. So I changed Wi-Fi's. Hopefully we should be good. Let's finish off strong. Thank you. Let's finish off strong. So it's going extinct because people are coming in there and destroying their habitat. Now, this video is going to dive in and talk a little bit more about the different types of endangered species and why they're endangered. Thank you all for being so flexible with me too. Thank you all for being flexible with me in this Wi-Fi. Just golly mosey. Also, I think I'm gonna get closer to my Wi-Fi router. So I'm gonna go outside. Thank you for being patient. We have 5 more minutes left of class. Thank you for being patient. All right. We're outside now. Hey, outside. All right, let's get it. Let me. get this together for us. Come on, Wi-Fi. I believe in you. We're rooting for you. Okay, this is like, this is like very, very ashy right now. Here we go. Come on, Wi-Fi. Hold it together. Come on, Wi-Fi. Hold it together. Everybody say, hold it together. All right. Here we go, right? 3, 2, 1. Come on, Wi-Fi. We believe in you. Whoop, whoop. Let's go.
Animals aren't the only things on the threatened or endangered species list. Plants are endangered too. The western prairie fringed orchid now only lives in small parts of the Midwest. It has existed for more than 20,000 years, but now there are only 172 populations of this plant. The Rafflesia is thought to have the largest flower on the planet and smells like rotting flesh. In the wild, it now only grows in the forests of Borneo and Sumatra. The Arizona agave had less than 100 plants alive in 1984. 2 populations survive in the Tonto National Forest. In Idaho, the slick pot peppergrass is threatened. You can now only find it in parts of 8 counties along the Snake River Plain. Most plants become threatened or endangered because of a loss of habitat, fire, or climate change. For more information about endangered species and lots of other science topics, check out the Science Trek website. You'll find it at idahoptv.org/science-trek.
All right, and that was that. Took us 30,000 days to get to that video. Any questions about today's lesson? Beyond Miss Breeze, why is your Wi-Fi so...
How was that so short?
Well, honestly, that was the best video that I could find that talked about the endangered species. I know it was super short, but we have 2 minutes left of class left, and I didn't want to put on a 14-minute video. Any questions? Ari's Beth said, oh. I know it was short, Ari Beth. I'm so sorry. Like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry my Wi-Fi is like tripping. I'm so sorry that the video is short. Look, I'm gonna get it together. I gotta talk to my people who are my who run the Wi-Fi so I can just get this going, because that's kind of frustrating that I keep getting kicked off. So, any questions about today's lesson? Any questions though? ¿Tienes preguntas para mí? Porque yo tengo contestas. I have the answer. Adriana said nope. Samuel shook his head. Any questions? Yes, so, oh, no. So Sophie said no, she doesn't have any. All right. Was today's lesson pretty good beyond the Wi-Fi? Was today's lesson pretty good beyond the Wi-Fi? All right. Last week we learned about the different type of flowers and the healing powers. This week we learned about the endangered plants. Next week we got something really good too. All right. I look forward to seeing y'all then. Make sure you drink a lot of water. Make sure that you go outside and get a lot of fresh air and sunshine. Yes. And you can also go look up more endangered plants too and let me know where they are and why they're endangered. That would be really cool too. So you know me, Miss Breeze, about to be out. I'll see y'all next week. Make sure that you show your parents love. Have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you all soon, all right? Peace.